Hello, John Talley here with Partzilla.com. Today I'm going to show you how to replace both of the rear brake cables on our 2003 Honda Rancher 350. Pretty simple to do. Just need to lift it up, get that rear tire off, and I can show you how to get it done. Alright guys, this is going to be a skill level 1, so it's really not going to be that tough. Now the tools you're going to need, I'm going to try to pull it off just with electrical tape. I know that's going to be a little bit iffy, but if I'm right, it should work out fine. Now if you would, reference our drawings because there are 4 different cables that are used on this machine. You want to make sure you get the correct 2. So once you have your electrical tape and your cables in place, we'll get started. Alright, so we've got our tire taken off and our foot brake is in pretty good shape. But reach up here for the handbrake up top, and there's nothing really going on at all. So it definitely needs to be replaced. The one down here is in okay shape, but I want to go ahead and replace it anyway. So how do we do that? Well, it's really pretty simple back here. I want to go ahead and back off these adjustment screws all the way. Takes a little while. All right, now basically just pull it up, pull that spring out, and it'll pull all the way through. Just like that. For the foot brake, just pull this boot back. That exposes the cable. Now you can pull it out of that little holder there. Rotate it up front. And then there's a notch on the inside and it pushes through. So pretty simple. That would be why this thing had so much tension on it. It is full of mud and dirt, and that has finally got it clogged up to the point it really doesn't want to move very easily like that. I mean, almost no effort whatsoever. That's going to translate to a much more positive feel in your braking system at your foot. So putting it on, just the reverse of what it was to take it off. Lean it forward. Bring it around on the back side, bring it through that gap, then rotate past the end of that spring. Now pull the rubber back, go ahead and put it into that keeper. You want to make sure you get this little rubber sleeve back onto it, to that first little indentation, because that keeps the water and the mud from getting in there, well, the best it can. Next, bring it through the bottom, go ahead and have your spring ready. Then line it up on that rear arm and go straight through. All right, we can go ahead and adjust the foot one if you want. When you're adjusting these, you want to end up with them in this position because there's actually kind of a little a cutout, so to speak, to where it has a high point and a low point, and this will keep it in one position once you get it adjusted where you want it. Me, I like to have about a ½ inch of play on the foot pedal. And that's really about it. That's what we want. All right, now the fun one. The handbrake one routes up behind the plastic all the way up and then goes up, of course, to your left handbrake. All right, let's go ahead and get it disconnected from the hand lever. Pull it back, pull it out of the slot, bring it around. Then we're pulling it out of that bottom edge. You can see where there's a little cutout for the cable to pull through. Got that out. Now just get out of the boot. There's one hanger up under here where you've got the choke cable and the reverse cable in this one. So get it fed out. And now she's pretty much free. And what we're going to attempt to do here is to actually just tape these 2 ends together and hopefully feed it around without having to remove the plastics. Is it going to work? I don't know. I've tried it a few times on different models and it's worked. But this one, I can't say I've tried before. The real trick here is to make sure that you get that leading edge just as flat against the old cable as you can. There's one place back here on the frame where these two plastic pieces meet. It's just basically a little hook. You need to get it pulled out. Now let's see if it'll go down through there. It was sounding promising there for a minute, but I think it's all right, looks like it's trying to bind up. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and pull this one section right here, and hopefully that'll be enough for me to finish fishing it through there, because I certainly don't want to pull all the front plastics off. Hey, we gave it a shot. It didn't work, but we will get it in there. Yeah, if we made it to the first zip tie, we weren't going to get around that. But hey, we gave it a shot. It was close. Had it been rotated about 45 degrees, I think she would have gone through. All right. And we know that's where it's supposed to end up, because it goes into that little hook right there on the frame. Yeah, I wonder why it didn't want to move. So yeah, that was not very effective at all. All right, since we're back here, let's go and get it routed through. Get your spring on there. Line it up and get it through there. And we can go ahead and start this, but certainly don't tighten it down, because we haven't connected it up at the lever itself. A little bit of wear on our brake lever. I want to go ahead and take this pivot pin off and clean it up and grease it, because it's got a fair amount of play in it now, and that's only going to get worse, because my bet is this is going to be dry as a bone. It's probably worn out the hole in the lever to make it look like an egg. Yeah, pretty much. That's what we're looking at. But I am going to put some grease in here. All right, there is a little bit of rust on this bolt, so I'm going to take it off on the bench grinder. And I feel confident enough to actually get my fingers right up there and do it. You may want to use a pair of pliers, so I'm not advocating that you do as I do in this particular instance. So let's go ahead and feed our cable up through this protecting boot. It's a little tricky getting the end piece in. Put it in a little sideways, then it'll carry over in there. Let's go ahead and get our cable on. Put a little grease on our bolt. I know from experience there's supposed to be let's call it a jam nut here on the bottom. This one evidently has vibrated off, so let me go head over to my pick bin and get another bolt to put on here. There. Now let's go ahead and get it into its slot up here. All right, it's in place. Now you can go ahead and feed it into this lower hanger. I would put it in first to where it's all the way toward the front, and then bring in the other two behind it, so it'll have the best angle coming in here. Now we can head down and do our adjustment. We've already got the foot brake set where we want it, so we want this just pretty much dead even with it is what we're looking for. Want about an inch pull before it really starts to grab. All right, guys, that pretty much wraps this one up. All I've got to do now is replace this piece of plastic, get that tire back on, then I can take her out for a spin. Well, listen, if you need any of the parts that we use to do this, why don't you find us at Partzilla.com and we can get you taken care of. If you have any questions or comments, leave them in the section below and I'll do my best to answer them. Until next time, we just want to say thanks for watching.